It's Friday, guys, and we've got some cool stuff today. One of the lifts across the street wasn't working. Mike and I guess Dave figured it out, so it's working. We got a couple of these cars down that have not seen sunshine in a while because this particular lift was stuck. Turns out it was a breaker problem. Got it fixed. But I want to say, if you guys haven't watched the stuff from the last few days, one, you watch the Model A video with Fred. Fred did a killer job on that. It's loading now. You should see it any time. But two, watch the 9/11 videos, the 2 or 3 about 9/11. Because I want to express again how proud I am of Trista, her class, and that whole generation of people from her age group. Because the thing we don't remember is we all lived it. We all sat through it. We have parents that sat through it. We lived September 11th, 2001. None of them did. They weren't born then. They weren't even close to being born then. But they still understand how big of a deal it was for our country, and it was. And that's the other thing, from a lot of comments, a lot of phone calls, a lot of conversation coming up. 24 years ago is a long time ago. But so many people said, well, so many people also definitely congratulated them for doing it. But it didn't sink into me about how big of a deal it was for our country. Our country came together, like it meshed like it never meshed before. Now, there was some things that did happen that were negative from it, but a lot of positivity came. The museum of the 9/11 attack stuff came. Everybody united on a very strong front against terrorism, and I think a lot of good came out of it in a way. Of course, a lot of tragedy came out of it in a way. 2,997 lives were lost. That's a huge number. But seeing them, just think about 2,997 flags. That was a person. That's a lot of death in one day at one time. People reminded me about the people jumping out of the buildings, the firefighters running in while everybody else was running out. That's also true. So also another reminder about your first responders. Make sure to thank them. That's why the mega truck's loaded up. We're sending it to a event with some firefighters, the Axemen event this weekend. That's going to be held at I Don't Know Cafe in Chester, or I don't know, I guess cafe, bar, grill, whatever. So we'll have the mega truck there on display for that event. They're raising money for the Burn Association for Kids. And we got the Monte Carlo out today, so we'll lead into some actual other stuff instead of my rambling. This Monte Carlo, I guess you call it a resto mod. Modified motor under the hood, big cam, sounds good. It's an SS car. It's had a full repaint. The wheels have been chromed, and all of this is hand stenciled. Now, we tell you guys in our industry, and I'm going to lead this bad story up with a good story, but our industry, we see everything. In our 49 years of business, we've seen everything. We're kind of like Farmers Insurance. We've seen a thing or two. But this beautiful car, we put it online. It was a local car collector that had this and one other. We had a fella, don't know exactly where he was from, reach out, said he loved the car. Talked to Mike. Mike said, no problem. We'll sell you the car. Got him all the pictures, got him all the videos. He needed to work with his, I think, grandson to get the pictures through and get the emails through and a few other things. Got it all done. He was happy. We told him how to pay us. He finally got us paid. It went back and forth about a week. We were very patient. Got it done. So we're ready to ship it next day or the day after, and we're calling, and we're not getting any response. We didn't know what was going on, so we just kind of waited. And transporter, we had to cancel transporter. We didn't know what to do. We needed to make sure where it was coming with transportation. A lot of scams there, you guys know. So we had to wait. Well, a day or so later, we started getting these unusual phone calls. One from a woman, then I think from a man. I think everybody in the office was kind of getting bounced around on these phone calls, saying they bought this car. But not the man, not the one that we were speaking to that bought it, which we could tell was an older gentleman. And we had his name, we had his information, we had everything to do the paperwork, and everything was DocuSign finally. So we thought real quickly maybe it was a theft of identity. They were trying to get the car shipped or not get the car shipped and rushing to get the car shipped. Everything got really weird, really fast. I mean, we want it immediately, and it was very strange. Well, then finally, I think it was actually my mom kind of reeled in one of the ladies that was calling and said, "What? Can you please fill me in on what's going on?" The man that bought it died. And so then we got really suspicious, but then we also got, really a soft side to us, of course, like, damn, that's sad if that's what really happened. It turns out it was. it turns out he did pass away just unexpectedly. So here's the car. It is for sale. Never left their possession. And it is a beautiful car, but it's been on the rack. The rack's been broke. Mike and Dave figured it out. It turned out to be a breaker problem, but we also got one of the Chrysler sports cars out. We got the convertible. I can't believe you don't like the Galaxy. Christian's Ford man. Matter of fact, we feel like Christian's going to have a Model A in his future now. Mr. Fred Wicker said Christian's going to love owning one of those, so we'll see. Maybe we'll all have one. It'll be our new company cars. But story number 2, a little bit more lighthearted. And like I said, that was a super unfortunate, but I'm telling you, when we've seen everything, we have. We had another situation, while we're getting all the tragic ones out of the way, where a customer was traveling, I guess as a truck driver, and he said, look, I'm going to try to make it by y'all's way. To check out a truck. Could you hold it for me? I said, absolutely. I'll be glad to hold it for you. So we're holding it. 2 or 3 days goes by, and I'm like, did anybody ever hear or see from the guy that was traveling? He's a truck driver. He's coming this way anyway. But he was going to specifically stop by, and it was a specific vehicle. And it just dawned on me. I said, did anybody ever see him? Did he stop in? Did he talk? Did he say anything? Because I had a lot of conversation with him, answering questions, sending pictures. Again, you develop a relationship with a customer when they're buying something unusual because they want to know a lot of stuff. No, never heard anything. So I guess about a week goes by. I'm going through my notes, my little sticky notes on my desk. I find his number, so I call. I said, hey, just checking in. Were y'all going to make it by? And it was a man that answered the phone. He said, I think you're looking for my brother. He died in a truck accident. I was like, really? He was like, yeah, he died in a truck accident last week. He was over the road. I said, yeah, I knew man, he talked about that truck. He was so excited to go look at that truck. And I was like, damn. So anyway, in traveling, he passed in the means of that. So that was tragic. I literally sat down in my seat and I was like, that was the craziest thing ever. So we don't take deposits. Why don't we take deposits? Several reasons. Here's going to explain one of them, but a few reasons. We also have our stuff on eBay and dealer-to-dealer auctions and other things. Those are places where you can literally click this button and you bought it. People buy stuff from us all the time that never call, never email, never ask questions. Then on the other hand, people call and ask for 5,000 questions. We're perfectly fine either way, except for when Christian feels under the weather. He doesn't like getting up sometimes, but he's getting a little better. He hadn't coughed up any phlegm since we've been on this filming. So we've made it 10 minutes now. Mike had 2 customers on this truck. We're very honest with people. Customer number 1 called, asked a bunch of questions, got a bunch of videos, got a bunch of pictures. He liked it. He's going to think about it. Cool. Customer number 2 calls. Mike's honest with him. Answers all his questions, sends him all the same stuff that he wants. Checks about a bed liner, some other stuff. There was a few things he was requesting. I love it, Mike. I want it. Mike's like, look, I just going to tell you, not to sound like a salesman, but we do have another customer that also wants it. He looked at it. You talked about it yesterday. He's supposed to let me know something, but it's up for grabs. We don't take deposits. Will you take a deposit? No, sir, we won't take a deposit. Hangs up the phone. Customer number 2 calls back again. Mike, can I please give you a deposit? You got me scared about this customer number 1. Please do something. So Mike's like, JW, what do we do? I said, well, have you communicated with both clearly? Yes. The other guy said he's going to think about it. If we had a dollar for every I'm going to think about it on this lot, I mean, we wouldn't come into work anymore. I can assure you. That's just a common thing I'm going to think about. It's just a polite way to say, I don't know what I want to do or not do. So after a couple phone calls, Mike said, you know what? Give us $1,000 deposit. We'll hold the truck for you. No problem. Takes $1,000, puts it on a credit card, puts his information in the computer. Lo and behold, customer number 1 calls back. Customer number 1 calls back. Hey, Mike, I think I want to go with it. I got some bad news. We took a deposit on it. What? You don't take deposits? What? No, I mean, I don't understand. I guess I didn't hear the whole part of it, but he was not happy. He was not happy at all. Well, okay, we're still going to sell the truck. We got one customer unhappy, one customer not. This is how it happens. This is why we don't do this, guys. But we broke our rule. One very small rule that we have. The next day, customer number 2 calls. Hey, Mike, I got to get my deposit back. What do you mean? Talk to my wife. She won't let me get it. That's a common scapegoat. I've had that told to me by guys that weren't even married, but that's their excuse. But he didn't tell his wife it was a manual, and I guess his wife can't drive a manual. So I guess they figured out if she ever had to drive it, she couldn't. It was the perfect truck. Guess what, guys? This truck's for sale. You can still get it. It's a low mileage 7.3 manual shift. But that is one of the reasons we don't bend and break our rules, even though we try to accommodate customers all the time. The other reason we haven't ever done it is we don't really need to. I don't need to obligate somebody. We get customers all the time that have left other dealerships all over the country, all over the world. JW, man, I was looking at this back when we were selling a bunch of almost brand new tow trucks. It was very common then. JW, that dealer's got one. He's like $1,500 cheaper than you. Hey, it sounds like a good deal. I mean, $1,500. You should do it. Yeah, man, but he wants a $10,000 deposit right now. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't take a deposit. You don't take a deposit? No. I just want you to send the money and buy the truck. That's all I'm worried about. If you don't buy it, somebody else will. That's a common statement for us, and it's true. We had a couple people lately put something on some vehicles and be like, you guys will never sell it. Well, I'm pretty sure my dad heard that before I heard that, and we've heard a lot of times, and that was 24 or 25,000 vehicles ago. So that doesn't bother us when you guys say that or put it on a post. They all sell. It just depends on when. And we're also not in a pinch like a lot of dealers. A lot of dealers are in a serious pinch to sell cars because they're on a 30 or a 60 or a 90-day curtailment or floor plan, or they're just pushy salespeople, and we're not. I don't want you to feel obligated. And that was what my dad always taught me. He said, Dad, if somebody puts a deposit, they feel more obligated. One, they feel obligated. They don't want to call and ask to take it back. And two, if they buy it and they really don't want to buy it, they're never going to be happy. So you don't win either way. Just don't take a deposit. And we never have. We don't accept deposits. You do occasionally have a weird situation like that, or we do have every now and then where we do break the rule is say on a square body. Guys like, look, I know you don't hold. I know that truck's 80 grand. Let's just use round numbers. I have 40 today, and I know I've got the other 40 next week. I got a big job. I got money coming, whatever. That's a little different than a deposit. You know, that's kind of pretty much paying for half of it. So in those cases, we will. Rules are meant to be bent, but there's a whole reason of one of the reasons why we don't. And again, our stuff, it sells. It sells itself. We don't have to force anybody. We don't need anybody to feel obligated. We don't want anybody to feel obligated. It's not what we do. So anyway, a little long rant there. I'm going to let Christian go hack and sneeze and blow his nose a few times. We'll take a little break. We'll go wrap things up because we do have a few things across the street that you guys have not seen yet. I want to bring to you as long as we can get done. AJ is out of here. Unfortunately, had a death in his family, so he's traveling today. Everybody keep him and his family in your prayers, and we're going to be back in a short. All right, we're wrapping it up today. Pretty much everything across the road. We didn't have anything that's completely ready enough. I am going to run up to the shop. We do have a big block, 1-ton short bed that's going to be a fun one for you guys. You can look at it and be like, oh, it's just an old half-ton with axles. It's not. It's an actual true 1-ton truck with 1-ton axles that's been shortened. So that's pretty cool. But they didn't get enough finished up today, and I don't want to show you guys that one until it is wrapped up. So that's going to be a good one. We do have this one, little change of look. Customer came in last week. Very busy man. He worked some long hours, but he took the time to come in and looked at multiple different square bodies, test drove multiple different square bodies, decided on this one. He said, JW, I love it, but I think I got to have the boggers. I was like, well, that's not a problem. We might as well be middle name Bogger because we get them every day. We did not actually have this size because Daniel keeps the 35s, the 39s, and the 44s, but we did have these in stock. Pause it 1 second, Chris. I do need to catch this. Sorry about that. Customer out of Florida, so I wanted to catch it. We've been playing phone tag. This is a half-ton truck with K20 emblems. A little bit of a weirdo truck as far as a few things go, but you guys that have watched faithfully have seen it. And this was a $29,000 truck, so they're not all crazy expensive. But anyway, he said, I want boggers. I said, no problem. Daniel keeps the 35s, the 39s, the 44s. He doesn't keep the 33s, which is what this truck needed. But we got them. A couple days. Got them on the truck. He had a couple other things he wanted us to check, make sure the switcher valve worked for the fuel tanks. Dave took it on a ride, and they are currently working like they're supposed to. Also got the AC working. Also got a fresh service done on it. So he's taking home a nice, less expensive truck. Got the boggers he wanted. Cow hood. Nice looking truck. I mean, for the price point, so it's not often we can say we get one in that range that runs and drives, but there it is. I did take the Jeep with the RIP supercharger for a RIP. Yeah, maybe that's why they called it that. Why are you rolling your eyes? Boo, dead joke. Oh, for real. It's pretty neat. It does need a tune. If any of you guys out there are in the Jeep world with a RIP supercharger and have a suggestion, it really does need a tune. It's runs great, but if you're really looking for that extra little punch, when you kind of get down on it, you can tell it's searching a little bit. So I think the tune's off a bit, but runs like a scalded freaking dog. So you'll probably see me in that one quite regularly. The white one that I had, I drove for about 6 months every day, which is weird for me to be in anything for that long, other than my trusty F-150 recently. It's just comfortable, but that's got the steps and everything else. So that's a freaking sweet truck. And my previous ride, which was the 6-door that we drove to the last mud bog, parked it in the field with the trailer until I asked them where it was, and everybody's like, I thought you had it at home. It's not at home. Is it in the storage building? No. Is it in the other shop? No. Is it across the street? No. Is it over there? No. Where's the 6-door at? Well, Memorial Day, we drove it to a mud bog with kryptonite behind it. And then that Tuesday, because we were off Monday, Calvin loaded it with all the trees we cut down over here on my flat trailer. And I said, we'll put it in the field. He did exactly what I asked. And he backed it up in the far corner. So my trailer has had a bunch of trees and brush on it. And the truck was sitting back in the field with all of my stuff in it. Nitrous bottles, race suit, helmet, food, drinks. Yeah, thankfully they're in bags. So there's the 6-door. And I did drive it home because the battery is dead. It charged up, so it's fine. So 6-door is for sale. I think it's been on the website, right? And I believe we're probably going to change the wraps. If you guys got opinion on that, throw it out there. Heck with it. I'm tired of that look. It was cool for a little while, but I think we're going to change it up for those that haven't seen it. It's a carbon fiber wrap, but you really got to get up close to even know it. So driving down the road, it just looks like a plain old black primer truck, but it's actually carbon fiber. And it was not cheap. So I thought it was going to be really cool. And getting up close to the truck, it is neat. It's not hiding anything. Another buyer beware. If you see a vehicle wrapped, especially a supercar, sports car, or a high-end truck, wonder why. Because I can assure you there's usually a reason why. My buyer has bought several to do nothing but pull it off and find horror stories underneath. And we've had a few ourselves. The only thing this wrap's covering is where it had fender flares, which are in the bed of the truck. Found those also. A little line where it scuffed the paint. As a matter of fact, you can kind of see that line under here a little bit if you look real close. But that's all it's hiding, is a little scuff line, which probably will buff off. Or you can put the flares back on it. But this has been a very functional, good running, good driving, proper 6-door. We drove it in the rain. We carried my kids. We carried Daniel's kids. It did not pour down inside like a lot of these trucks. Some of them you have more water coming in than you'd imagine, like a safari rainforest when you drive a 6-door, because they do get put together crappy. Oh, look at this too. I didn't remember, and I don't know if it's going to show it, but it's pearl white. It's not just plain white. This truck's pearl white. So I don't know if the camera's going to show that or not, but when the light hits it just right, it is actually very nice looking. The aftermarket bumpers are not for everybody. Again, it might be time for a facelift on this truck. Mechanicals are great, and Dave, my faithful mechanic over there, has been maintaining it for us the whole time we've had it. So that is a good truck. You don't see very many 6 doors. 6.7 does have the Devastation kit already on it. It's a pretty solid piece. So I guess we'll call it a day. You good with that, Kristen? Cool. All right, so Kristen is War Slam out. You may not see this till Saturday because we are having some upload issues, but we'll try to get it on there. We'll do an outro video with the 7.3 crew cab OBS before it leaves. That truck's headed to Texas over there. And then we'll bore you guys with some tow truck content next week. We're going to do a usability and functionality. Well, keep going. I got something else I just saw. And usually almost every day a tow truck comes in. So yesterday a 2025 International came in. I'm texting with a guy now on a red International. And then we do have this 550 that was a local truck. And this is going to be a little bit more affordable truck as well. Decently clean interior, very clean bed. Century, Miller Industries, 2020 model with about 180. Sound right, Christian? Have you photoed this one yet? I don't think so. 2 of these came in at the same time, so I don't know if you photoed this one or not. But that's going to be a truck that's probably in the 50-ish price range. So we do get less expensive late model tow trucks as well, mostly almost new ones. Then I told you guys the Black Raptor would not stay gone long. We keep walking, keep finding goodies. Did you make sure that's back online? Okay. So 2023 Raptor R Edition. My man kept it for about 60 days. I knew it would not be long. Again, I hope he changes his underwear more than he changes his cars, but it's going to be a close run there. But I knew he wasn't going to keep it long, and he's already head over heels for a Jeep build that we're getting ready to do for him. I've got to find him the Jeep, but in the meantime, he bought a Ranger. So he is riding around a Ranger from an R model, and his extra money will be building him a cool Jeep. Something similar to that Gladiator out front, but he wants diesel. So Christian's now, for the second time, had to clear the phone out just to make this video. And we've got the biggest storage space there is. So new phone's here. My phone's coming to be a secondary or a thirdary filming phone. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hope you're having a safe and happy weekend. We'll see you guys back next week.